Margaret Higgins was born on September 14, 1879, in Corning, New York. She was one of 11 children born into a Roman Catholic working-class family. Her mother Anne had several devastating miscarriages which led to her mother's depression. The family lived in poverty her whole life, which led her to seek a better life. She attended Claverack College and Hudson River Institute in 1896. Around this time, Anthony Comstock was able to pass the Comstock Laws. These laws made it illegal to publish and distribute information about sex, reproduction, or birth control anywhere in the United States. In 1900, Margaret then moved to New York's White Plains Hospital to begin her studies in nursing. A short time before finishing her studies, Margaret married her husband William Sanger. They ended up having 3 children together. Around the time of 1910, the Sangers joined a group of activists in Greenwich Village. Margaret also joined the Liberal Club and groups that included the Women's Committee of the New York Socialist Party. By the time of 1912, Sanger gave up her nursing career and began to write a column for the New York Call. The article was entitled What Every Girl Should Know. The article describes how the woman body changes from girlhood through puberty and about sexual and reproductive health. Although some believe that this went against Comstock laws, it did not because she did not include contraception. However, Anthony Comstock, the man who created the Comstock laws, still banned her newspaper column. After several obstacles, Sanger reformed her voice and created her own newspaper column called The Woman Rebel. This paper went against all Comstock laws. She ignored warnings from the government and was eventually arrested on August 1st, 1914. She was given 6 weeks for her defense, but instead wrote a book on birth control called Family Limitation. This book describes common forms of birth control such as condoms, withdrawal, plugs, spermicides, and sponges. Family Limitation sold 10 million copies, but this book was also going against all Comstock laws. Sanger ended up fleeing to England, where she openly talked about birth control and abortion. There, she also studied history of family planning and absorbed all the information about sexuality and birth control. She eventually came back to America, however, because her husband was put in jail and Comstock died. Even though Comstock was dead, his laws still lived on, and she challenged them. She got $50 from a woman in California and used it to open the first birth control clinic in New York on October 16, 1916. Flyers were passed out about the opening of the clinic. The clinic offered counseling, birth control, and supplies to dozens of women from the Bureau's Brownsville section. The clinic remained open for 9 days, but Sanger and the other parties were arrested for maintaining a public nuisance. Sanger was tried, found guilty, and sent to jail for 30 days that later resulted in a hunger strike for the cause. When released from prison, her followers grew. Sanger upheld her conviction in 1917, which was a major legal victory. In 1921, Sanger became a leader of the birth control movement and founded the American Birth Control League. In 1923, the first legal birth control clinic was opened, also known as the Clinic Research Bureau. The purpose of the clinic was to give contraceptive services to married couples. It also helped train students to become physicians. In 1942, the American Birth Control League changed its name to Planned Parenthood. This is the organization that we know now today. If Margaret Sanger had not gone through all those obstacles and conflicts, we may not have the sources we do today. Because of her, the United States came to a compromise in 1965 and realized it was unconstitutional for the government to prohibit couples from using birth control. While some people still may be against birth control and more, women still have the freedom to choose pro-life or pro-choice.